respected dignitaries from the armed forces, from DRD organizations, our partners from IAI, other industries, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me just thank IAI team for organizing this summit, as well as it is my proud privilege to stand here in front of you and talk about the industry perspective on MRSAM system. Mr. Audit and Dr. Purohit were deeply involved from the inception of this project. I already spoken a lot about the MRSAM system, and the most of the topics which I am supposed to cover, they already covered it, but still I'll touch upon certain critical aspects. Starting with the strategic imperative, the MRSAM system, we are all aware, has proven its capability to engage various types of aerial threats and targets in all the three dimensions, that is for the water, for the air, as well as for the land. And the success of MRSAM system reflects the strategic depth between the two entities, mainly DRDO and the II, as well as the power of collaborative international cooperation between various industries, the armed forces from both the countries, and as I brought out, the industries and the research and development organization within India. The genesis of which comes from the famous saying that the opportunities are everywhere, but the key to develop the vision is to see it. So with this clear vision, there was a jointmanship developed in 2006 between II, DRDO and the Indian Navy. The intent of this program was very clear, and the mandate given to them was very clear, that we have to develop a long-term sustainable capability within India. So within that mandate, the Indian and Israeli armed forces also contributed significantly. As we are all aware, any development cannot be complete unless we bring out the user specifications, we bring out the user's perspective. And this involvement of the armed forces really helped the program to carry out various trials, as well as ensure that the system, when it was developed, was ready to be operated in various domains which was designed for. What I just mentioned looks very simple and looks very smooth, but trust me, this arduous journey was full of technological complexities. There were various challenges, because as we are all aware, this kind of a program of this large scale required cohesive working between various organizations, and these two organizations belong to two different continents and countries. So it was very, very challenging to put together the DRDO scientists, the II technical people, the industrial partners, as well as the armed forces. However, this collaborative approach resulted in the development concluding successfully in 2014. However, the next phase required a lot of alignment towards various technologies. The most of the phases were involved towards the rigorous testings required to ensure that the system is ready and combat worthy, operating in various environmental specifications and the environmental conditions India has got. For example, the high altitude, for example, operating in the desert, for example, operating in the place where there will be a lot of snow or there will be a lot of rain. So the challenges were not only in the testing, but also bringing in various agencies from the two countries together and make a system which is ready to be operated. So during all this phase, during all this process, whilst the DRDO and II were leading this particular journey, the two industrial partners or the industries in the defense industries within India, the Bharat Electronics Limited as well as BDL contributed a lot. BDL took on the role of prime missile integrator, establishing the production setup as well as the processes. Most importantly, BDL, with its vast experience in this domain, also established and created a robust ecosystem of missile production through MSMEs, as well as building a long-term supply chain relationship with various industrial partners. Well, on the other hand, led the integration of the radar units, the command units, and various other auxiliaries into a complex and well-established weapon system, which provided the agility, precision, and interoperability. Together, all the stakeholders ensured that the process which has started gives India not only assembled India product, but a built-in India product. And that was a great achievement and the great journey covered together. Talking about the developmental challenges, co-developmental challenges rather, there were numerous challenges faced during the long and hard journey. I'll just touch upon two of them. The first was during the development of the missile propulsion system and its complex propellant composition. As Dr. Purohit has already brought out in his talk, there is a complex relationship between the missile L/D ratio and the missile propellant system, which is important to provide the missile with the range, the thrust, consistency, and the in-flight stability. Therefore, developing the potency of the propellant was a very, very challenging task, and it involved establishment of new material handling protocols, quality and process control challenges for the propellant materials, and the creation of precise casting and curing environment. These critical challenges were overcome with the firm belief that together we can do it. And believe in me, as Dr. Purohit brought out, there were numerous testing trials, there were certain failures, there were a lot of brainstorming sessions, and the combined team and the collaborative approach ensured that we get over it. The second challenge was integrating the rocket motor seamlessly with other parts of the missile, particularly the seekers, the airframe, the control surfaces, and the canister. This demanded high precision manufacturing and alignment standards. They were very challenging since it was being done in India for the very first time. As we are all aware, looking at certain things or looking at certain documents, it looks very simple. But believe in me, when you transfer that document or that drawing into a technology, small hurdles can be very, very demanding and very, very time consuming. But as I said, the collaborative approach ensured that we sailed through this seamlessly. Moving on to the co-production challenges. In every development program, the major and the most complex task is converting that development into a consistent production. And for missile, believe in me, I have been in the Navy for 33 years almost, and in the missile maintenance scenario. The missile being a single shot device, this particular equipment is supposed to perform consistently and sustainably over a long period of time. It may be in storage, it may be in the field, deployed in the field, but whenever it is triggered, it has to perform 100%. So even a 99.9% is not acceptable. So this kind of a stringent requirement, particularly in the missile development, requires a lot of long-term strategic issues to be resolved. So particularly the scale and the hugeness of MRSAM program also had a lot of challenges. From integration of the seeker, as you are all aware, seeker is one of the most critical component of the missile. integrating that seeker to various systems. Then you have got today most of the missile systems have got a lot of softwares. So harmonizing this software with the missile, with the weapon platform has been a real challenging task, and make it a real-time system which will be deployed in the combat environment. So these challenges were really very stressful, but together they were overcome. Adding on to that, there were logistical issues because a lot of things were coming from abroad, a lot of vendors had to be developed here. Now believe in me, in any missile production, development of vendor as well as qualification of the vendors is again a very not only time consuming but expensive task. But with a focused approach and of course with a collaborative approach, all the challenges could be overcome. Every hurdle what we faced during this phase became a learning curve for the Indian industry, and with the support of IAI and DRDO, the industry could adapt, the industry could innovate as well as produce the results by streamlining the processes and procedures which led to the success of the project. Talking about the stabilization of the production process as well as the operational induction. Throughout the missile production stage, there were a lot of struggles, and ultimately in 2014, the missiles were cleared for production. However, the qualification trials could successfully completed only by the year 2022. So today, after a decade of involvement in the process, BDL has truly demonstrated its capability of technology absorption, ability to contribute towards the project improvisation, as well as to provide the sustainable support to various entities, including the Indian Armed Forces. Talking about the aspect of strategic self-reliance, I'd like to bring out that the MRSAM system has stabilized with respect to its production aspect. As my earlier speakers have already brought out, BDL could demonstrate its capability, of course, because of the cooperation from various entities, including ISI and DRDO, could assemble and deliver 40 missiles to meet the requirement of the armed forces. But the challenges still remain with us, especially in ensuring the supply chain resilience, managing lead times, and maintaining availability of critical components. My colleagues from armed forces as well as Dr. Purohit also brought out that there is a very critical aspect with respect to the pricing, with respect to the quality, and with respect to the timing of providing the spares as well as providing the supportability to the program of the scale of MRSAM, where all the three services are dependent on various OEMs as well as the designers. With over the decade of deep engagement in the project and with the intensive learning what we had and the knowledge we had gained over this phase, BDL today is fully ready and believes that with continued collaborative approach with IA and DRDO, the IC contents can be further increased, particularly for the missiles. This is essential so that the Indian ecosystem can take on more responsibility towards meeting the challenging task of providing the life cycle support, improvisation of system capabilities, as well as carry out of systems management. This we firmly believe will truly demonstrate the strategic, self-reliant and Atmanirbhar policy of Government of India. Further, with a long partnership with IAI, BDL with its proven track record is all geared up to take on the role and responsibility of becoming a global supply chain partner to IAI. This is, we consider, very, very essential because, as we have already heard, there is ever increasing demand from the Indian Armed Forces, as well as there is increasing demand from the international market. And to meet all these aspects, we have to work together and we have to ensure that we bridge the gap by doing the gap analysis. We can increase our production because India has a huge potential to respond to the requirement to produce any product as per the international quality because of the strong ecosystem we have developed over a period of time. Today, MRSAM system is the most war-worthy missile system and it has become a true epitome of defense collaboration. Truly speaking, the success of MRSAM has been achieved by the user-driven development approach, sustained engagements with various entities, and by leveraging the technology, the trust, and the teamwork. These efforts have made India's skies safer and our defense ecosystem stronger. So I know that I am, last but one speaker. So I'd not like to take much time. So I'll conclude my talk with a quote. Alone we can achieve so little. Together we can achieve unthinkable. So let's hope with more collaborative approach, all the stakeholders would meet the users' requirements and make them combat worthy for all the future warfare. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Can we have the memento, please? So request you to please be at the center of the stage so that we can get better photographs. Once again, thank you so much, Commodore Girish Pradhan from Bharat Dynamics Limited, for delivering that special address on